John Wick returns in another sequel where he must once again neutralize hordes of enemies to see another dawn. John Wick universe has its own rules. Almost everyone here has a cat-like 7 lives, so it's not enough to shoot somebody just once, but it takes almost the entire magazine to kill somebody. Only the headshots remain certainty here. Hitting other parts of the body will only slow down the opponent, whether he is wearing armor or just a jacket. On the other hand, the arrows here are probably made of adamantium and are equal to insta-kill. Thrown pistol will fling any willing stuntman 3 meters away. Welcome to the world of John Wick. You can build fighting movies, a subgenre of action movies, on 3 main elements: a strong story with charismatic characters, spectacular fight scenes in an interesting environment, and by imaginative camera work. Often, the story is not given much space in this genre, and John Wick is certainly no exception and basically copies the previous parts of the series. In the first part, they killed John's puppy, for which he took revenge, and since then, John has been killing to survive, and also because he likes to kill. The last chapter tries to build a wider world around the High Council and other continental hotels, but these efforts are more like tears in the rain. It's very easy to miss them. Fortunately, the writing duo of Michael Finch and Shay Hatton did well with the dialogues. They do not sound as cheesy and cheap as in some other films of this genre. Thus, Chapter 4 is saved by the interesting newcomers with the Zatoichi like Donnie Yen, the psychopathic Bill Skarsgård, the principled Hiroyuki Sanada, the mysterious Shamir Anderson, and by the debutant Rina Sawayama. Scott Atkins in a fat suit looks a little bit grotesque here, and his scenes seem to me a little bit over the edge of something serious. Of course, this plot is completed by our old familiar guys, Eastwood like Keanu Reeves, the king of the homeless Lawrence Fishburne, and the head of the Continental Ian McShane with the recently sadly deceased Lance Reddick as his sidekick. All of them certainly don't play the best roles of their careers here, but even on a small space they can breathe charisma into their characters. Yes, the story doesn't play in the main violence in the chapter 4. The MVP is the stunt team of Chad Stahelski who has directed all 4 parts, the last 3 alone without David Leitch. Most of the battles, as is customary in this series, takes place with the use of guns, and that is unfortunately the biggest bummer of the chapter 4. While Vic's gunfu was a breath of fresh air in the first part, and was pleasantly reminiscent of the gunfu gems Hardboiled and Killer of Shojun Fat, in the last part it feels quite repetitive. The main character keeps using similar grab techniques, ending with a headshot to eliminate enemies over and over. That, combined with his indestructibility, where he walks off the hit by a high-speed car faster than Forrest Gump from scoliosis, takes a lot away from the film's impact. From this perspective, it lags behind the variability of brutal fights in Raid, the fun choreography of Jackie Chan, or the poetism of the aforementioned gunfu films by Master John Woo. Fortunately, weapons other than pistols are used to fight here too, and those scenes are much more interesting than gunfu. Donnie Yen eliminates the enemies with a blind cane, or Hiroyuki Sanada kills with a samurai sword. It's highly enjoyable thanks to the top performances of stuntmen who commit suicidal jumps from stairs, cars, and actually anything that can be jumped from. That will put a big smile on the faces of fighting movie fans. Unfortunately, John Wick himself is not part of the best moments, which is a bit of a shame. So will you be bored while watching the 4th chapter? Not in the slightest. The almost 3 hour footage will fly by like Usain Bolt, thanks to the various amazing locations, from Parisian Arc de Triomphe, Montmartre, Louvre, Trocadero, Sacré-Cœur Basilica Square, St. Eustace Church, Opera Garnier, Versailles, Tokyo National Art Center, the Kraftwerk Club in Berlin, and also Jordan. Even playing marbles would look epic in these places, let alone the carefully prepared fighting choreography of dozens of people and cars. In addition, Stahelski, in collaboration with Guillermo del Toro's main DOP, Dan Lausten, beautifully lit all the locations. The visuals are are so utterly captivating that I would rank the fourth installment of John Wick alongside Chunky Mouse Hero and Ang Lee's Crouching Tiger and Hidden Dragon among the most visually beautiful action films of all time. When the action moves for a moment to less interesting pace, Laos Tendon pulls out a very original angle that captures the viewer's attention again. Without this masterful cinematography, the film would be half as good. The latest John Wick is for all the fans of this series who didn't think even for a moment during the second or third part that creators are serving us the same thing over and over again. None of the fighting scenes will probably make it into your top 10 fighting scenes, but the amazing visuals push this movie into the above average category and it definitely deserves a visit of a cinema. However, it lags behind the best of this genre, so the fourth chapter gets 7 points out of 10. But if you don't value the visuals in general and rather want original fight choreography, then deduct up to 2 points. For those, you will have to look elsewhere. Strength, visuals, charismatic characters, top stuntmen. Weaknesses, absence of a plot, repetitive action scenes.